Kicking off this morning, then here with you all, celebrating our first annual Sports and Entertainment Supplier Diversity Forum. And before we get started, I just want to take a quick moment to thank our incredible sponsors, a special acknowledgement to BMO and AEG, and our venue, LA Convention Center. I also want to acknowledge all the incredible event partners and the many resource providers that are here today that help make today possible. And I really want to thank all of you, our small business operators and entrepreneurs, for joining us here today. You are truly the heart of Los Angeles' thriving economy. Our city is on the cusp of celebrating an unparalleled decade of world-class sporting events. We're gearing up to welcome FIFA World Cup, the NBA All-Star Game, and the U.S. Women's Open in 2026. The Super Bowl in 2027, culminating with the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games, where LA will become just the third city in history and the first in the U.S. to host the Games a record 3 times, joining Paris and London on the medal stand. Now, LA offers something for every sports fan. With over 11 professional sports teams, the most in the United States, it truly solidifies LA as one of the true sports capitals of the world. And as we get ready to welcome the world, we want to make sure that all of you stay informed and get ready for the incredible opportunities that are going to be coming your way. And today is really just the start. It's the start of an ongoing conversation and the preparation needed to get ready and informed. Businesses are ready to take action, and the city wants to create the opportunities that bring investment back into our communities. And not just for one summer, but to lay the foundation and to build a more inclusive and a more equitable economy for generations to come. We know that owning and operating a small business isn't always easy. There's many challenges that you face, whether it's navigating through red tape, accessing capital, or simply managing day-to-day operations. And the last few years, post-pandemic, have been especially testing our resilience in ways that we never could have imagined. And Mayor Bass has a message for you, which is, you are not in this alone. That's why she's working so hard every day to reduce the barriers to entry, from grant funding and loans to technical assistance, and bringing together business owners and resources, just like today. Last summer, the mayor signed Executive Directive 4 to streamline city processes by identifying the obstacles you face, creating metrics, and implementing those solutions. We're here to make it easier, not harder, for you to grow, start, and expand your business. Earlier this year, we launched LApreneur, a program to help provide educational resources, training, and support to the city's growing ecosystem of startups and entrepreneurs. In fact, our first cohort of nearly 100 entrepreneurs just graduated last month, and they're on their way to success. Yes, let's put your hands together for them. But today is more than just about policies. It's about partnership. It's about coming together, sharing ideas, building relationships, and establishing those connections. That's why events like today are so important, because we know that when small businesses succeed, LA succeeds. And our office is here to be a partner to all of you. Looking ahead, these next few years will bring an historic investment to our business community as we get ready to welcome the world. And we're here to help provide you with the tools necessary to help you seize that moment. Which is why I'm so excited to share that launching today is a program designed to do just that, to help local businesses meet this moment. Procure LA is a new initiative from Mayor Bass. Through this program, businesses will receive hands-on, one-to-one consultation from our business source centers, training and assistance with certification, bid proposal development, registration to procurement portals, and so much more. The program will create a pipeline of businesses that are ready and equipped, and these services will help ensure that when opportunities arise, businesses will be ready to compete. The procurement process itself can be complex, but Procure LA and participating businesses will be ready to navigate the process and have a robust and vetted bid package at the ready. Registration is online and open today at www.procurela.com. In the coming months, we'll be expanding this program to ensure that even more entrepreneurial Angelenos will have the tools to compete for exciting opportunities in the years to come. Today, you'll be hearing from Mayor Bass herself on the incredible work that she is doing to support the small business community. She'll be joined by actress and business owner Jessica Alba, where they'll discuss her journey from growing her startup to $1 billion company. Throughout the day, you'll hear from industry experts on the economic impact of these mega sporting events, what these monumental opportunities mean for you, and how you can tap into them. Together, we will continue to do all that we can to support small businesses and give them the help they need to grow in the city, because it's through collaboration and working together that we will build a stronger and more inclusive Los Angeles for all. So thank you so much, everyone, and let's get to work.
Please welcome to the stage Eric Smith, Vice Chairman of BMO.
Good morning. On behalf of my colleagues from BMO, I'd like to thank Mayor Karen Bass for hosting today's inaugural LA Sports and Entertainment Supplier Diversity event. We're honored to serve as a sponsor, and we are very deeply grateful for the leadership that she's providing and championing for equity, as well as for her vision for LA is one where every business, regardless of size or background, has the opportunity to thrive. And BMO shares that vision. Today, we'll discuss the opportunities that local businesses can benefit by partnering with upcoming major sporting events like the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. We'll also highlight the vital role that diverse suppliers like you play in our economy. Supplier diversity is critically important to creating a sustainable and economic pathway. It also sparks innovation and creativity by bringing unique perspectives to the table, and it helps companies better understand how to serve diverse customer segments. Personally, I'm proud to work for a bank that champions supplier diversity. We are now a top 10 U.S. bank with a national presence, and diversity has always been one of our core values that allows us to deliver on our purpose to boldly grow the good and business in life. It's central to how we conduct business and makes us a stronger, more innovative company. In fact, in the last 3 years, we have more than tripled our spending with diverse businesses. We're also proud that we've been recognized as a supplier diversity leader among financial institutions. Today's forum is an incredible opportunity for networking, learning, collaboration, and growth. So now I'd like to encourage you to connect with each other, share your stories, and explore potential partnerships that not only benefit our industries, but also uplift our communities. And I look forward to personally connecting with many of you throughout the day. Thank you, and have a great day.
Please welcome to the stage Karen Price, Council Member, Los Angeles Council, District 9.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Really appreciate those remarks by our Deputy Mayor Freeman. Sees in good hands. Let's give her a good hand for our Deputy Mayor. She did a great job. She's doing a great job. Going to continue. We heard from our friends at BMO, VP Eric Smith. Then you're going to be hearing from the county, our friends from AEG, and we all in the convention center, of course. But we just want to say thank you for being here. This is such an important day. And you know, LA is continuing to redefine itself. Looking for office agencies are changing for a different skyline than we had even 5 years ago. New options for transportation, exciting venues, are all coming together, making this a world-class center. And what this redefinition means is an opportunity for greater equity for our small and underserved businesses. As chair of the newly formed Economic Community Development and Jobs Committee, and business owner, I'm keenly aware of the obstacles and opportunities of moving forward. And I want you to know you're going to have a champion in City Hall for your cause. As chair, I see one of my many roles is cultivating opportunities for the business community and expanding markets and creating jobs and facilitating assistance to business. And I think you've heard already, the assistance is available. It's here to help you, but you have to go get it. You can't be a shrinking violet. We want to help, but the help is going to come to those who step up. Years ago, when we learned that the LA would be hosting the Olympics, we knew that it was going to be a critical opportunity to leverage these resources in ways that we just haven't before. And as you've heard, since the announcement of LA receiving the games, we also are going to be having the return of the NBA All-Star games, the Women's Open is coming, the World Cup, and another Super Bowl. So we are going to be active leading up to the Olympics and Paralympics. These events represent over $1 billion in economic impact to LA. And those dollars, we want those dollars to stay right here in LA, right?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. In my district, you've seen what the Bank California Stadium, the BMO Stadium, the Memorial Coliseum renovations, the Lucas Museum have done for minority women business. And we know that that same is going to occur here in the Convention Center and other projects that we have coming around. So today you have an opportunity to position yourself to be a part of history. So I'm excited for you, and I want to thank you for your courage and your drive as business owners, because having a small business is not easy, is it?
No.
Yeah, I had a quick print shop back in the day. I was going to take out Kinko's. And after about 4 years, I did what most businesses do, which was what? I went out of business, right? I didn't have a business plan, didn't have finance, I didn't have a clue. And so you are steps ahead. You got a clue, the resources here to assist you, and I hope you definitely will take advantage of it. Like I said, today we have support from the Mayor's Office, Office of Economic Development, Workforce Development, LA Tourism, the private sector. We all want you to be successful. And we have, of course, we have to give a special shout out to our mayor, who has led the way and continues to express the term that LA is open for business, but not business as usual. And we want to make sure that holds true. I had the honor and opportunity to join the mayor and a delegation of city leaders to Paris for the Paralympics, and then I was included in a delegation went to Mexico City for the inauguration of President Sheinbaum. But in each of those locations, I had a chance to talk to small businesses that want to come to LA, want to do business in LA, want to provide goods, want to provide services in LA. This is from tech to logistics, actual products. And so we know that LA is the place to be. And I want you to know that not only should you be thinking high, but think far, because we have the resources to assist you. We want you to be successful. And as the mayor says, LA is open for business, but not business as usual. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Please welcome to the stage Kelly Lobianco, Director of LA County Department of Economic Opportunity.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Kelly Lobianco, and I'm the Director of the LA County Department of Economic Opportunity. I'm thrilled to be here this morning at this Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Supplier Diversity Summit. So excited to see a packed room so early on a Thursday. You know that this is the place to be right now for small business. I want to thank the mayor and the mayor's team and all of their sponsors and our partners for their leadership on this event and making sure that we're not just ready for LA 28, but building a thriving, globally competitive, and locally fueled sports and entertainment ecosystem right here in LA. At DEO, for those that don't know us, we create quality jobs, help small businesses and high-road employers start and grow, and build vibrant communities and spaces. We run our 18 American Job Centers of California, an Office of Small Business, and hundreds workers and small business and nonprofits. As we support growth in the region, it's our priority and that of our 5 supervisors to do it sustainably and inclusively. You just heard us say LA's open for business, but we're doing it differently. With the infrastructure dollars and the major sporting events that are coming to the region, not just in 4 years, but every single day, even in a tough budget year, if you're looking at the state and federal government, investment is coming to LA County. And in LA County, with our 40 departments, our 100,000 employees, and $50 billion budget, we procure $6 to $8 billion annually, and we buy everything. If you're selling a good and service, we probably buy it. In order to ensure all of you get your fair share of the pie, and that's our objective at the Department of Economic Opportunity, and contribute to the success of our amazing LA County region, there are a couple of key things that I want to make sure you know and get connected to. One, you got to meet our Office of Small Business. So if you're out in the fair, find the green table that says Department of Economic Opportunity, get their business card, sign up for an appointment. This is the first thing you need to do to get connected to LA County. 2, I'm encouraging every single person here to become a vendor with LA County and get certified as a local small business, veteran-owned business, or community-serving business with LA County. We are tripling the number of certified businesses in the coming year, and already in the last year saw an increase to $1.2 billion in awards going to small businesses. That's last year alone, what we've spent. That doesn't include all of our other government partners in the region. That means you get a 15% price bid reduction. That means you get prompt payment on priority listings. Get certified. That's number 1. Make sure it happens. Make sure you get connected. I also want to make sure you sign up for LACountyEMI.com. That's our economic mobility initiative. This helps you access education, TA and training, and capital starting in one place. We're partnered with 15 amazing organizations that will make sure that we don't just give you one thing that you need, but we give you everything you need. So right now alone, we're recruiting for entrepreneurship academies if you're just getting started or early growth. We can connect you to free legal aid and bonding support and hiring and training services. We can help you access capital. Right now in the 2nd District, you can sign up for $10,000 grants. So talk to our team about our Business Interruption Fund, and we're going to be launching a small business mobility fund soon. So get connected with us so that you have access to those grant opportunities, not loans, grants. And apply for the LA County Small Biz Permit Express. Cuts your permitting and entitlement time with LA County by 25%. These are just some of the ways that we're here to support you. Lastly, sign up for our newsletter. Go to opportunity.lacounty.gov. Our team can help you with that. But stay in touch. You've got an amazing group of people right here. Network with them, network with our partners. We're here to make sure that when the Olympics come, and that when we continue to build this thriving sports and entertainment ecosystem, you get those investments too, because you're the backbone of our economy. We appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Please welcome to the stage Todd Goldstein, Chief Revenue Officer for AEG.
Good day and good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. It is great to see everyone here today. As a sponsor of this event, I want to start by thanking Mayor Bass and her team for their vision and leadership. I also want to thank all of the sponsors and partners for their support and everyone involved with this important event and their hard work in putting this together. The goal of this summit is to encourage small and medium-sized businesses and social enterprises to come forward and compete for contracts that will be coming available in Los Angeles as we get set to host some of the biggest and most important sporting events in the world. This includes the 2026 NBA All-Star Game, the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the 2027 Super Bowl, the 2026 U.S. Women's Open, and of course, the 2028 Olympics, amongst many other great sports and entertainment events. These exciting events are critical to
to our local and regional economy. They will support hundreds of businesses across the city and drive tourism to unprecedented new levels. Now, while today's summit is about creating opportunities for new and diverse businesses, it isn't just the suppliers that stand to gain. Across this great city, people from a variety of backgrounds live in the communities that we serve. When we hire diverse businesses, we are helping those regions and neighborhoods become vibrant and successful. That is why supplier diversity is vital for fostering economic growth and a powerful tool for creating change. With this summit, we are kickstarting a virtuous cycle of wins for everyone that will generate hundreds of new jobs, stimulate our community, and positively impact the entire supply chain of goods and services that companies like AEG and the City of Los Angeles need and thrive on to support. Today, we're not only widening the pool of potential suppliers and promoting competition, but also improving the quality of products and services we can offer by providing more sourcing options to businesses across Los Angeles. That is why we're pleased to see so many companies and affinity partners with us here at this summit. Your continued support of initiatives like this one are critical to assuring that a diverse array of businesses in our communities can fully participate in these procurement opportunities. The diverse suppliers in attendance today will have the chance to learn about products and services that will be needed across industries to support these exciting sporting events, and pitch your products and services directly to the city and all the companies represented here today, rather than waiting for an official tender to be issued. At AEG, we are committed to working with minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned, and LGBTQ-owned businesses. And we are proud to see all of these groups represented here today. We're not only growing our business for these suppliers, but we also are helping to mentor and develop them through capacity building programs that forge stronger partnerships across industries and provide them with more opportunities. Today's event builds on the important work that our supplier diversity team has been doing to help existing or new diverse businesses gain certification. Through our AEG Vendor Stewardship Program, we partner and guide minority business owners through the entire certification process, giving them the exposure they need to expand their client base and work with companies like all of you. And because certification fees can be challenging for these organizations, AEG will also pay their first-year fees. AEG is proud of the work we're doing throughout communities in Los Angeles and very proud to be associated with today's event. But this summit is just the beginning. By leveraging the procurement opportunities that these existing sporting events will bring to Los Angeles over the next half-decade, together we can grow small businesses throughout the region, strengthen our supplier base, increase our competitive edge in the global economy, and drive positive change throughout the great city of Los Angeles. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Let's begin our first panel of the day, Game Changers, the economic impact on... Please join me in welcoming to the stage Kevin Frazier, co-host of Entertainment Tonight. Homegrown, Operating Officer.
Thank you.
And Tom Andrus, President of Access North America.
Don't forget Cosmo and Bailey. They're here too. Cosmo. Galaxy fans in the house. They're very close to BMO Stadium, just a reminder. And Bailey for the LA Kings. Round of applause for the mascots today. And thank you for being here today. We're so excited and welcome to joining us for the inaugural Sports and Entertainment Diversity Summit. There is money out there, and there are companies that need to go grab that money, and that's what today is about. As they said, my name is Kevin Frazier, I'm the co-host of Entertainment Tonight, and I'm thrilled to be here. I will moderate this panel, but really, we're going to talk about what is going on in LA and the big ticket items and how you can be a part of them. And our first panel is called Game Changers, Economic Impact on Mega Events, and we will explore how Los Angeles sports leaders are preparing for those major upcoming events like the FIFA World Cup, which will be incredible, the Super Bowl, and of course, LA 28. In both of those, well, in all three of those, the world will descend upon Los Angeles like never before. We have to be ready, and these three gentlemen up here will share their insights into the strategies for building capacity, event preparation and execution, supplier diversity goals, and the incredible financial impact these efforts will have on supporting small businesses and strengthening our local economy. Let's jump right in and get going. Once again, let me introduce everybody. First, President of Business Operations and Chief Operations Officer of the LA Galaxy, Tom Braun. And Chief Operating Officer, AEG Sports, and Chief Operating Officer and COO of the Los Angeles Kings, Kelly Cheeseman. And then finally, Tom Andrus, the President of Access North America. He is a ticketing partner for LA 28. And you know what? I want to start down here with you, Tom, because you're a little engine that could in many ways steal this deal, because there are some big ticket companies. But Access being a part of ticketing for LA 28, how does that happen and what does it mean for your company?
Yeah, it's a big deal for us, and it's not something that happens overnight. Like basically, we're a 12-year-old startup, and so we have put in a lot of work to, with a lot of big companies to learn ticketing, to grow, to offer them service and support, so that when it came time for the Olympics for LA 28 to go out and look, we were actually in a space to be competitive. And so we could go through that process. It was a very long process. It took us over a year of, through the bid process, working with them, competing. We found that we could partner with someone because we had half the services. We know the US, we know ticketing here, but we have a partner who has done other Olympics, who knows kind of how you work with all the sponsors and everything, and we came together and created a bid, with them. But I will say it was a culmination of many, many years of work, and we were lucky to be in the finalists. And then when you get down to the finalists, it's you versus someone who's a lot bigger than you, and you have to show them something different. You have to show up and be something special that they actually say, yeah, you may not be the first.
What did you do that was special? Let's give up the secrets now so we know. When you're battling, you go in and you look across the table and there are other big organizations in there. What do you have to do? What did you do?
Yeah, what we had to do was be different. We had to actually come in and say, look, and I think the partnership was a big part of that, where we said, we identified what we did well, we identified some weaknesses that we had. So by putting together a competitive co-bid, we were able to offer something that the big giant couldn't do. And I think that's really, it's getting creative, and that's one. I think the second is relationships. You can never underestimate the value of every relationship you make along the way.
An important note there, relationships, and today you will have a chance to make relationships, or at least start relationships with some of the folks here, like Kelly. What do you look for when you're looking at smaller minority vendors, and what do you want those vendors and businesses to have to appeal to you at the Kings? And by the way, shout out, you're undefeated right now. Kings doing well.
I think, we want to make sure we have a partner that can deliver and has some experience in, whatever unique instance we're putting it into. And, there's a great example that we've had over the years, Donna Chen with BuzzHive Creative. She came to us to do some of our, we were looking for a partner to help us deliver special events in the community with our King's Chair Foundation. So we had things that are more satellite from our venues. We're very accustomed to doing events inside, Crypto.com Arena or Dignity Health Sports Park, and that's very comfortable to do those things because we have our group. But when you go out in the community and do a 5K in Redondo Beach, you need somebody to go with you and deliver that at the high class expectation that's your fans are accustomed to. And Donna and BuzzHive came to Jen and Cope at our team and delivered an outstanding event probably 10 or 15 years ago. And we, at that point, just started developing a relationship that she did in Tippecanoe and some of our other satellite events. And over time, we were able to start referring her. She started doing Galaxy, pregame festivities. And then as the Rams came to town, we would refer her to the Ram.
What wows you when you meet a vendor? What makes you say, I like this person, or I feel comfortable with this person? Well, just as the energy died in your microphone, you said energy.
I guess my mic lost the energy. I think it's energy and ability to, usually small vendors are coming, they have smaller staff and they're putting together, and sometimes they have subcontractors that they're pulling in to get the job done, and their ability to pull that together and deliver for you when we, do big events, it impresses you. A little scrappiness, like we're small teams too, right? So a little scrappiness and energy, and they just get the job done. That's what sports is about. You got to win at the end of the day.
Love that. Tom, we just heard Kelly mention the Galaxy and some of the things you're doing. What are ways that you're interacting with minority and diverse different vendors, and what opportunities are there?
Yeah, great question, and so excited to be here today, so thanks for having me. Listen, we're part of the community. Every single thing that we do, we recognize we could be and are oftentimes the most positive thing that brings communities together, right? Sports has that ability. The Kings and the Galaxy have that ability to bring communities together in a really positive way. So we have a responsibility and a duty to ensure that we're giving back to the community in the right way too. So there's a couple things that we do. One thing we do is we do a community partner of the match. Every single match that we have at Dignity Health Sports Park, we have a community partner, and we highlight that community partner to the best of our ability. The second thing that we do is we do a small business of the month. Every single month, we use our assets and our channels to make sure that we're highlighting a business in the community and make sure that they're getting a platform that they otherwise might not get using the power and the brand that is the LA Galaxy.
What kind of opportunities do you guys see? And I'll throw us out to the whole panel, but Kelly, you especially, what kind of opportunities will present themselves with these three major events where the world is coming here to Los Angeles? It really did quit on you.
I think, there's so many things that go into the big events once they're determined, and we'll, as organizations like ourselves with the Kings and Galaxy or AG, we'll work closely with Kathy and her team at with the Sports Commission and Adam and his team at the LA Tourism to put our bids together and get the event. But once you get into execution mode, there's hundreds of things that gotta go on, thousands of things that go on. I mean, Tom and Access, they're a vendor doing ticketing, but you get into signage and event production and small events in the community. There's so many satellite expectations that gotta get delivered. It's probably an unlimited amount of opportunity, even executing small merchandise programs and pop-up shops. There's a lot of those opportunities that can get executed in the community. So the economic impact that these events have, there's obviously the things that are attached directly to the event and contracted by the event, but economic impact is, across the region. So you look at, something like an All-Star Weekend for, NHL or NBA, that'll bring $50-60 million in economic impact, some of which is directly attributed right inside where the venues are at or the hotels are at, but so many things go on beyond opportunities are really about what you're doing to be a part of, your connection to the hotels that are executing and hosting and all of that. So it's just unlimited in terms of the types of things that can get executed beyond our scope.
And maybe to add to that, so MLS was birthed out of the 94 World Cup. The final was hosted at the Rose Bowl. We've had the Women's World Cup at the Rose Bowl in 1999. In 2026, the biggest event in the history of the world will be in North America with the World Cup. You marry that with the Super Bowl, you marry that with the Olympics in 28. There's an immense amount of opportunity down the road. Millions and millions of people are coming to our city to experience these events, and finding those opportunities, I think, will be invaluable and available.
I want to ask Tom Andrus, how did you scale your company up? Once you realized you would get this gig, then what? How do you scale up?
Well, I think a big part of it is to realize that these big events, World Cup, Olympics, etc., are really like the cherry on top. They're like the dessert. You don't build your business by just doing those. You build your business by every day showing up, and when there are problems, fixing those problems, and then making sure you build it one piece at a time. Because that, in a lot of times, it looks great to like, hey, we're going to do the Olympics, but the Olympics aren't going to how you make your business. They validate your business. That's what like makes you, it's a win that you get. And so for us, that's what the way I look at the Olympics is, all right, great, thank you for validating this. We're going to work really hard. We're going to make this work. But it's the day-to-day, every other event that we're doing. I mean, we'll do 500 events over a weekend across the country. Like it's just everything's always going, and you just have to be perfect. You have to like make sure that every one of those partners that you have is happy, right?
How do you be perfect though? You say you have to be perfect.
You can't.
I mean, no one is perfect, so
You can't. Right? You can ask Kelly. We are not perfect. But when we have a problem, when you have something, you show up. You deal with it. You take it head on. Like everyone's going to have employees. Employees are going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to have something go wrong in technology because technology is a problem. But it's how you step up. It's how you get in and you basically you own the issue, you fix it, you make it better, and you work together so the next time it's even better. I think that's a lot of part of being a great vendor, a great supplier, is when something is off, how do you step in? How do you fix it?
I want to ask Tom B, Tom Braun, and Kelly, how do you as a vendor, and you're out there and you're working, you're building this business, how do they find you or get in touch with you? What are those steps that really can get them in front of the right person? Because so often there are so many roadblocks for small vendors, whereas those big companies, they have the direct access, they roll in and they're like, we're here, let's do it, give us the money. What can small vendors do?
Yeah, oftentimes people think of sports teams as being massive organizations, right? We're a pretty lean team that operates efficiently and does the best with what we have, right? We just have a really big megaphone. So oftentimes we find vendors through relationships. And Kelly mentioned the relationship originally that he had to help with his 5K. That's how we come in contact. So I think the more relationships that you can build, whether it's with someone like Kelly or myself or even members of our staff, I think goes a really long way to be able to get in the door. One, we have to know you're around and that you're looking to work, and we have to build that trust and that relationship, which will take a little bit of time.
Are you out at those events? Like, we will see you out at those events?
Oh yeah, I think Kelly, I'll speak for myself, but I can probably mention for Kelly too. We're out at almost every event. You'll see us at games, you'll see us at events, and we're always happy to have a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, even when it comes to like microphones, you want to make sure that they're working.
So there's some small vendor that needs to fix a problem.
No, you can be surprised. Like more often than not, we're at small events in the community. You see something, you're like, that's cool. Who's that person? And we just go over, get that card, and talk to our marketing manager. Hey, I met this person at an event. They delivered something really cool. Maybe contact them. So, like Tom said, we're actually small and scrappy businesses in sports, but we're a part of a much bigger organization. AAG is one process with the Galaxy. 12 years ago, when you say 12 years, it makes me feel a little old, but we're scrappy, we're small, we network to get good relationships. So being at those events, introducing yourselves to us, we're open to that. We sell tickets and we do the same thing, right? So it's just about networking, building relationships with small marketing managers and directors and things like that. And it can open a lot of doors by delivering one little thing, and we're usually looking for those solutions.
And it's interesting, Kelly, as you say that, because you told a great story while we were standing backstage about working your way up. If this is a process, it's not happening overnight. And Kelly, you talked about how you were in minor league baseball and you used to have to don the mascot's costume sometimes to go do visits in children's hospitals and other things. And if anybody has a problem with Bailey or Cosmo, look at that man right there, because he helped design those, which is cool that he helped design both of those mascots for 2 franchises. I'm sure there are more, aren't there?
No, we have the Ice Bear in Berlin, but that polar bear was already there, so. But no, it's a very rewarding thing to be a part of in designing a brand that has a lasting legacy in a city, and the amount of reach that it creates over time. You take, the Kings and the Galaxy, we're 2 iconic brands in this town, and a town that's gotten a lot busier with sports. Most people don't realize with the Kings, we're almost 60 years old in this town. And so the lasting legacy that you create from something like creating a mascot, which we realized was a gap when we created Bailey back in 2006-07, that we didn't have a mascot, and our players could only be in certain spots at certain times. There's only 25 of them, and they can maybe make 4 or 5 appearances a year. When you create a mascot, that mascot can go into the community and make 500 appearances. And that also creates economic impact as well. The ice crew and the mascot goes in the community and builds brand, builds relationships with those kids. That's a reach. And we did the same thing with Cosmo. Cosmo's around, but we reinvented him. But my experience in actually putting on the mascot outfit when I was the marketing manager with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, I was in the office designing the website, doing the collateral design, selling tickets, selling sponsorships, but part of our role is we didn't have a full-time mascot, so we had to go, there was hospital visits and school visits, we all had to sign up and do it, and it's incredibly rewarding and fun to do, and just seeing the kids light up from those moments, it's fun. So I have a real passion for mascots and what they do for a brand and building a brand in the city.
I might be too tall to put on a mascot costume, but what Kelly is saying is right. We constantly have to out-punch our weight class, right? We have to continue to do more and more with what we have, right? So sports teams are incredibly scrappy. I know in MLS for a long period of time, soccer had a challenge of becoming something in the States, right? And even in the last 30 years, MLS is now 29, soon to be 30 years old. We have to compete with really major leagues, with the NHL, NBA, NFL, right? So you constantly have to continue to find ways to be scrappy and do everything it takes to get recognized.
Speaking of that recognition, what does it take for a vendor to go from, hey, I'm working with you on an event, to someone who's working every single day and every single season over and over again with your organizations?
Yeah, the quality of the work is important, right? And I see it as a small vendor being almost better than a larger vendor, right? You have that interaction that you might not have with a big vendor. You know that there's a different level of passion that comes with a small vendor that you might not get with a massive corporation. So I find a lot of value and even more value working with small vendors than maybe looking at the larger ones. You know they're going to deliver. You know that they care at a deeper level than perhaps even bigger vendor would.
Yeah, I would agree. And coming back to Donna and West Hive, she knew she could deliver and she got it done. And I would say also make sure that you're honest with yourself. Don't take on more than you can actually achieve, because if you do fail, it could be critical for your long-term success, because people talk, right? So be honest with the situation just because it's a great opportunity where you're like, you know, eyes wide open, I gotta get this, but if you don't deliver in that moment, that can be fatal for, you know, that longer term relationship. So assuring, for us, you know, we're speaking to thousands of fans at these events. We got to deliver for those fans, and if there's failure in that, it's really challenging. And you know, I mean, not to bring up a bad thing, but you know, sometimes when we have a technology challenge, you know, dealing with ticketing, like we're on the phone together, attacking that challenge and speaking to thousands of people that are trying to get through the gate, and we got to deal with it and communicate with them. So make sure you're ready to go.
Speaking of ready to go and coming back, and shout out first time to what the Galaxy have done on the field. You guys have really rebuilt the brand, and you guys have done a great job of resurrecting them, because they were struggling for a few years. This other little team down the street started doing well. But you guys have done a great job of resurrecting that brand, so congratulations on that. And then I want to ask Tom Andrews, has there been a moment, a challenge that you've had to overcome as a vendor, as you were working with someone that it could have been fatal to your business?
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. And like, I will say, you have to focus on what is the most important thing to your partner. Again, are you making sure you're getting that done? And I think in we've had some instances where, at the very basic, like, say when a show goes on sale, or when people are getting into the venue, like, and there's a place where you are at risk, and you don't want to end up in the press. You don't want to end up upsetting all those customers. You don't want to do that. So you have to, at that moment, own it. Like, I mean, you feel the same pain that your partner feels. Like, I mean, and it doesn't matter what service you're delivering. If your service is coming in short, you have to put yourself in their shoes and understand that it is the most critical thing in the world, right? And so, I mean, fortunately, I would say we've been able to stay out of the press and handle issues when they pop up, because they're always going to pop up. And that's how we work with people who we expect from people we work with. Like, you know, we don't have nearly as many suppliers as, you know, the teams or the buildings, but we expect them to feel that with us. And I think there was a recent one this year earlier with the Galaxy where one of their other partners was having a problem, and we got on the phone with them to say, what can we do to help?